Hey there. We're reading today from the third chapter of James. I'm reading from the New Revised Standard Version. I'll give you a minute to find it in your Bible. Not many of you should become teachers, my brothers and sisters, for you know that we who teach will be judged with greater strictness. For all of us make many mistakes. Anyone who makes no mistakes in speaking is perfect, able to keep the whole body in check with a bridle. If we put bits into the mouths of horses to make them obey us, we guide their whole bodies. Or look at ships. Though they are so large that it takes strong winds to drive them, yet they are guided by a very small rudder wherever the will of the pilot directs. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great exploits. How great a forest is set ablaze by a small fire, and the tongue is a fire. The tongue is placed among our members as a world of iniquity. It stains the whole body, sets on fire the cycle of nature, and is itself set on fire by hell. For every species of beast and bird, of reptile and sea creature, can be tamed and has been tamed by the human species. But no one can tame the tongue, a restless evil full of deadly poison. With it we bless the Lord and Father, and with it we curse those who are made in the likeness of God. From the same mouth come blessing and cursing. My brothers and sisters, this ought not to be so. Does a spring pour forth from the same opening both fresh and brackish water? Can a fig tree, my brothers and sisters, yield olives, or a grapevine figs? No more can salt water yield fresh. Who is wise and understanding among you? Show by your good life that your works are done with gentleness born of wisdom. But if you have bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not be boastful and false to the truth. Such wisdom does not come down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, devilish. For where there is envy and selfish ambition, there will also be disorder and wickedness of every kind. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy and good fruits, without a trace of partiality or hypocrisy. And a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace for those who make peace. James continues to challenge me. Today I was struck by his analogy of the tongue being like a small fire that sets the forest ablaze. I remember one of the massive fires in California in recent years swallowed up acres and acres of trees and destroyed houses and property. When the fire officials finally traced the source of the fire, they found out that it was from somebody who was pulling a trailer. The tire had gone flat, the people pulling the trailer hadn't realized it. The rims scraped on the road, the sparks flew, dry grass ignited, and the rest is a terribly tragic history. Nobody meant to do it. It was a small event that turned into a massive disaster. We need to be alert in these pandemic days. If you're like me, the routine change, the isolation, the tension may be starting to wear on you. Your defenses may be lowered. It may be easier for a harsh word or a poorly thought out comment to slip out, whether it's in in-person conversation or on social media. And there's grace, always there's grace. But we need to be on guard to minimize those moments. It's also true that while fires can be used for destruction and devastation, they can also be used to provide warmth. Our tongues can just as easily be used to bless others as they can to curse others. And so in these days of social distancing, a blessing can be as simple as making a phone call to say, I'm thinking of you. It can be as simple as thanking a worker at a grocery store for staying open during the travel restrictions. It can be as simple as saying to someone in your household, I'm happy to be stuck with you, to quote Huey Lewis. And if none of those seems quite right, if you're a parent with kids at home, you could always send an email to your children's teachers, telling them that you now have a new appreciation of the wisdom of the first few words of the third chapter of the book of James. Not many of you should become teachers, my brothers and sisters. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for James chapter 4.